Good morning everyone and welcome to another one of our SPAG lessons. Remember that for a SPAG lesson we need our books and our pens and pencils to write the answer to the activities, as it is an activity-based lesson. Now today's learning objective is time-specific adverbials. Okay, so adverbials that are time-specific. Now the first activity asks you to identify the adverbials that tell us when and how often something happens. Not how, but how often, okay? Go. I'm gonna give you 10 seconds. Have you done it? Let's check the answers. Well done everyone. These are the adverbials that tell us when and how often something happens. Let's move on to the next activity. In this activity you have to circle the fronted adverbial that tell us when something happened. Let's check your answer. Well done everyone. The fronted adverbial that tells us when something happened is eventually. A clue to that was to realize that it is at the beginning of a sentence and that it has a comma after it. Okay, there could have been several fronted adverbials, but that would have narrowed the search. Okay? Well done everyone. In this activity, you have to underline the fronted adverbial that describes how often, not when, but how often something takes place. As I said before, look for fronted adverbials. There's more than one in this activity. And I want you to then narrow the search by looking at how often something takes place between those two. Okay? Have a go at it. And let's check the answer. Every week. Well done everyone. The fronted adverbials in this activity were every week and on Saturday as well. Okay, not only every week but also on Saturday. However, on Saturday tells us when something happens and every week tells us how often. Therefore, every week is our correct answer. Let's move on to the next activity. In this activity, you have to choose the fronted adverbial that tells us when the main clause takes place in the sentence below. Let's check the answer. If I'm going too fast, remember, pause the video to complete the activities. Just then. Well done everyone. Just then is the right answer to just then a tiny wren swooped down to eat the bird's seed, but the seeds were lost in the snow. Okay? Choose the fronted adverbial that tells us how often the main clause takes place in the sentence below. How often? So we have three options. Let's check the right answer. Yesterday. Okay? Yesterday is the right answer. Let's move on to the next activity. Using the word bank below, write a sentence that could follow this fronted adverbial. Eventually, comma, something, something. Let's check what I've done. Eventually, the python slithered away into the undergrowth next to my garden, and finally I could breathe a huge sigh of relief. Well done everyone. Let's check the next activity. In this activity, you have to rewrite the sentence below so that it begins with a fronted adverbial of time. Have a go at it and let's check. Frequently, my older brother plays tricks on me and I find it very annoying. Well done everyone, you're doing amazing. The last activity, it's a reasoning activity. Could these words be used in a fronted adverbial about time? In the distance, yearly, in the morning. Explain how you know. I would say that in the distance is no, and I have to explain why. However, yearly and in the morning, I think they can be, and I will explain why in a minute. I would say that in the distance, the answer would be no, because it's telling us where something happened. Where, not when. It's not about time, it's about place. However, yearly and in the morning, I would say yes, because yearly tells us how often something happens, and in the morning it tells us when something happened. And when an adverbial tells us how often or when something happens or happened in the past, it is about time. Okay? Have a lovely day. I hope you understood everything. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask. Bye. I hope you enjoyed the lesson.